Accounting Lessons 3, Trial Balance and Final Account. So this is how a typical trial balance looks like, where you have the different accounts from the ledger listed in the middle column, and the total debit is listed on the left hand side, and the total credit is listed on the right hand side. For each account, there is an account wise debit and credit listed on the left hand side and on the right hand side respectively. Now from this trial balance, what we try to do is that we try to get the gross trial balance and net trial balance. But before going into that, we have seen that there are different accounts in the ledger. There is a capital account for Lourdes. There is a drawings account, stock on 31st March. There are purchases made, where purchases is actually a nominal account. So the expenses so in the account, purchases are there, purchases returns are there, sales returns, etc. So each of these ledger accounts are listed. Total debit is on the left hand side and total credit is on the right hand side. Now let us see what we do to get the gross trial balance. So in that view, we have the gross trial balance, where we have all the accounts listed on the left hand side, but the debit and credit entries are listed side by side. So that is what is happening in the gross trial balance. So Lourdes Capital, you have debit 10,000 and credit 1,35,000 or 135,000 rupees. So likewise, all the accounts, the debit and credit amounts are listed side by side on the right hand side. Now what happens in net trial balance is that the difference is actually listed on the for each account for debit and credit. If the credit balance is more, it will be on the credit side. If debit balance is more, it will be on the debit side. So likewise, we have to list each of the accounts. So that is the net trial balance. And then the totals are taken. The totals agree in this case. So in this trial balance, the totals agree. So basically we don't get into the rectification part of the trial balance. If the totals don't agree, there is a mismatch. So we have to correct. So there exist some errors. So we have to correct those errors. In this case, the trial balance agrees. So we do not get into rectification of errors. But let us still see, in the event the trial balance do not agree, there is a way to rectify errors. And that is by one-sided error. There are different types of errors. Some of the errors are one-sided error, two-sided error, then suspense account and rectification of errors. So these are some of the errors which we actually try to do in the rectification process. So in the rectification of errors, if it's a one-sided error, what exactly that is? A one-sided errors may be errors while recording a single entry in a single account. That is what is one-sided error. So for example, while posting for rent paid, which is rupees 90, it is posted as rupees 900. So that is a clerical error, or it's a rectification error. It's a one-sided error. We have to correct it before we prepare the trial balance. Now, two-sided errors, what are they? For two-sided errors, mostly two or more accounts are affected, and definitely the debit and credit entries are affected. For example, goods purchased from Sohan Lal are wrongly recorded in the sales register as rupees 50. So the wrong entry made is Sohan Lal account, which is a personal account, is debited. Personal account, you actually are the receiver. So the rupees 50 is debited, and to sales account, it is credited, which is wrong, which is a wrong entry. Goods purchased, normally the correct entry is purchases account is debited, which is a nominal account. It's an expense item. So purchases rupees 50 is debited, and who is the giver? It is Sohan Lal, who is credited. So Sohan Lal is the giver and must have surely given goods on credit. Hence his account should be credited with rupees 100, not 50, because there is already a wrong entry made. So we have to offset that. So it should be credited with rupees 100. So that is for a two-sided error. Now there is suspense account and rectification of errors. What happens there? So after the trial balance preparation, if there is a difference, then we can transfer temporarily the entries into a new account called suspense account. So that is what is a suspense account. If the trial balance total debit is more, then it will be put into the suspense account on the credit side. Also, if the trial balance total credit is more, then it will be put into the suspense account on the debit side. If anything remains in the suspense account, it will be shown on the balance sheet on the asset side for debit difference and on the liability side for credit difference. So if there is anything which remains in suspense account, it will be there in the suspense account. What we do is when we prepare the final account, which is the balance sheet, on the asset side, if there is a debit difference in suspense account, it will be shown. And on the liability side, if there is a credit difference in suspense account, that will be shown where in the balance sheet when we prepare the final accounts towards the end. Thank you.